everyone! Today, let's hook this little rooster together. Take a look at a very cute shape. It's the same shape before and after. Let's take a look. Everyone can match the colors freely. The method of hooking is very simple. A little doll very suitable for novice sisters to hook. Next, let's hook this little cock together. Let's begin. We started at the head. First, wrap the yarn around your finger, then take it off. Lay the yarn with your left hand. Then change the left hand to twist this place. Crochet in. Wrap the yarn around and pull it over, and then you crochet it around. Pull this little loop. This is a chain stitch. And what happens next? We threaded crochet through the ring. Hook 6 single crochets. First, stitch threading. Then the crochet presses the yarn and pulls it over. Put the 2 loops together. This is a single crochet. Mark the first single crochet. The stitch is a V shape. The first single crochet is hooked. Then we continue to hook the second single crochet. Then the crochet presses the yarn and pulls it over. Put the 2 loops together. This is the second single crochet. Threading crochet presses the yarn and pulls it over. This is the third single crochet. Then the 4th stitch. As for the first round, we hooked a total of 6 single crochets. This single crochet is represented by the letter X. Let's take a look. 6 single crochets are hooked. So what we do is we pull this little wire tail really tight. This will form a small disc. The first round is officially completed. Then we used a stitching method of a spiral hook. After each round is hooked, no pull connection required. We could just start hooking a new round. We went straight to the second round. For the second round, we need to hook 6 increases. First, thread the crochet through the first marked stitch. The end of the yarn is transverse to one side. Hook a single crochet first. The first single crochet of each round is marked. What's next? We also started with the stitches just now. Hook a stitch through the first stitch. Then hook a single crochet. Let's take a look. This is an increase. 1 increase is equal to 2 single crochets in each stitch. Hook another stitch. That is, hook 2 more single crochets. Let's take a look at the second increase, and it's done. Next, we put the 4 increases in the back inside. Each stitch is hooked with an increase. That is, 2 single crochets are hooked. Increase. We use the letter for V to represent it. The second round is to hook 6V. What about after the second round is hooked? There are 12 single crochets in this round. Let's take a look. The second round is officially completed. So now we move on to the third round. 1 single crochet and 1 increase is a group. Repeat the hook 6 times. Let's hook. First of all, thread the crochet through the first marked stitch. Hook a separate single crochet. Mark it well. Then hook an increase into the second stitch. Hook a V. Let's take a look. 1 single crochet and 1 increase. It's a combination. You need to hook 6 times. There is a single crochet in the third stitch. Then 2 stitches are hooked in the 4th stitch. Next, everybody follow me. Hook the last 4 times. And we learn to look at this crochet diagram. In this case, we can see the diagram later. Hook it by yourself. So what if you hook right? The last stitch must be an increase. Okay, we're done with the third round. It has become 18 stitches. So we went on for the fourth round. As for the fourth round, we just hooked single crochets in each stitch. Just hook 18 single crochets. Everyone follow me to hook. The first stitch of each round must be marked because we are a hook method of spiral hook. What if it's not marked? We're not going to find the first stitch. Everyone follow me and hook this fourth round. Hook 18 stitches. Okay, take a look at our fourth round, and we're done. Next, we continue to hook the fifth round. 2 single crochets and 1 increase is a group. Repeat the hook 6 times. First, hook a single crochet inside the first stitch. Mark it well. Then hook a single crochet in the second stitch. Here are 2 single crochets. Then hook an increase in the third stitch. Hook a V. 2 single crochets and 1 increase. It's a combination. You need to hook 6 times. The second time, there is a hook in the fourth stitch. There is a single crochet in the fifth stitch. Then 2 stitches are hooked in the sixth stitch. Okay, it's done the second time. According to this method, hook all the last 4 times. Then after our fifth round is hooked, it becomes 20 for single crochets. The fifth round is officially completed. So T after the fifth round, and then look at the diagrams. Hooked all the 6th to 15th rounds behind. I put the diagram on the screen, so follow the diagram to hook. So let's take a look. We follow the diagram all the way to round 15. Next, we continue to hook round 16. So what about round 16? First, let's hook for separate single crochets. First single crochet. Then the second single crochet. Mark it well. I forgot to mark it just now. Then the third single crochet. Fourth single crochet. Okay, what about after hooking these 4 single crochets? We hook 7 chain stitches. Let's hook. Hook the yarn and pull it over. So this is a chain stitch. Second stitch. Third stitch. Fourth stitch. Fifth stitch. Sixth stitch. Seventh stitch. Okay, after hooking these 7 chain stitches, we hook backwards. Second to last stitches. That's the 6th chain stitch. Thread crochet inside the stitch. Let's take a look. Hook a single crochet. Then hook a single crochet in the 5th stitch. A single crochet is hooked in the 4th stitch. Just hook it back like this. Hook 6 single crochets. Okay, what about after hooking these 6 single crochets? Let's go back to where we came from. Just hook the remaining 26 stitches for it. We've hooked for stitches, right? Just hook it back. If we are directly in the 5th stitch, this place in the middle, there will be a more obvious hole. So we need special treatment for this place. We've already hooked for single crochets, so we crochet in the 4th stitch. Hook the yarn and pull it over. Just hook a loop and thread the crochet through the 5th stitch. Hook the yarn and pull it over. And then what we do is we pull these 3 loops. How about this? There is no big gap in this place, so it's connected. As you can see, it is relatively tightly connected. There is no bigger hole. What about after this place is hooked? Next, we can continue to hook back. Then put every remaining stitch in the back. It all corresponds to a single crochet on the hook. There are 30 single crochets in total. Because we hooked 7 chain stitches, I hooked 6 single crochets backwards, right? So what happens after this round is hooked? There are 36 stitches in total. Everyone follow me to hook. Okay, everyone, take a look. Next, we continue to hook the 17th round. Let's take a look at round 17. We need to hook the first 4 stitch as well, and then 6 chain stitches this place. Hook 6 single crochets on this side. Then hook 6 single crochets on this side. Everyone follow me to hook. First hook out the front for single crochets. The first stitch is still marked. Second stitch, 3rd stitch, 4th stitch. After the hook is done, let's take a look. Hook 6 single crochets on this side. Just now, we hooked off half the loop by picking the stitches, right? And then, what about this side? Let's hook the other half of the loop. Hook another 6 single crochets. 1 stitch, 2 stitches, 3 stitches, 4 stitches, 5 stitches. 6 stitches is good. After the hook is done, we're going to put another 6 stitches on this side. It has the stitch of a stitch on this side, right? The 6 single crochets we hooked earlier. Just hook 6 single crochets accordingly. This place is equivalent to 12 single crochets hooked. And let's hook each of the subsequent stitches accordingly. That's it. So what about after we hook the 17th round? It turns into 42 single crochets. Everyone follow me. Hook this 17th round. So let's take a look. We hooked it on round 17. Turned into 42 stitches. Now we're going to do round 18. We still need to keep adding stitches. So let's hook. We hooked 3 single crochets first. 1 increase. The middle part, 6 single crochets, and 1 increase is a group. Repeat the hook 5 times. Then hook 3 single crochets separately. Let's hook the first stitch. Mark it well. Then the second stitch. Third stitch. After these 3 single crochets, we hooked an increase. Put AV in the 4th stitch. Just hook to single crochets. What about the middle part? We just hooked 6 single crochets and 1 increase. First hook 6 single crochets. Then we hooked it with an increase. Hook AV. Let's take a look. 6 single crochets, 1 increase. It's a combination. We continue to hook to the back. 6 single crochets. Then 1 increases. It was hooked the second time. And then a third time. 6 single crochets. 1 increase. Just repeat the hook 5 times. Everyone follow me to hook. Okay, what about after hooking these 5 times? Finally, there are 3 single crochets left. We can hook 3 single crochets separately. Let's take a look. We hooked it on round 18. This round becomes 48 stitches. And then what about the next rounds 19 to 21? Hook single crochet in each stitch. Just hook these 48 single crochets. Everyone follow me to hook. Let's take a look. And we got to round 21. What about after the hook is done? We continue to hook round 22. 6 single crochets and 1 decrease is a group. Repeat hook 6 times. Let's hook round 22. We mainly learn how to reduce stitches. Let's hook 6 single crochets first. Mark the first stitch. Second stitch. Third stitch. Fourth stitch. Fifth stitch. The sixth stitch. After the 6 single crochets are hooked, we hooked a decrease. We need to put this 7th and 8th stitches. 2 stitches reduced to 1 stitch. First, we pick out the front loop of the 7th single crochet. Then pick up the front loop of the 8th stitch. Then the crochet hooks the yarn. Go through both loops at the same time. Then parallel the stitches. This is a decrease. So we're going to see it again. Let's hook 6 single crochets first. Okay, let's look at the decrease again. You start by picking up the front half of the stitches. Pick up the front loop of the next stitch. Then the crochet hooks the thread. Through it like this at the same time. Then parallel the stitches. That's it. It was done the second time. Here we go. We can hook all the back for more times. What about the decrease? We are represented by the letter symbol. When you see the letter symbol A, just hook it like this. Reduce 2 stitches to 1. Let's take a look again. First, pick up a front loop of stitches. Then pick up a front loop of stitches. Crochet the yarn and pull it over. That's it. Everyone, follow me and hook this 22nd round for it. So what about after the hook on round 22? We'd lost 6 stitches. Turns into 42 single crochets. Everyone follow me to hook. Pick up a front loop of stitches. Then pick up the front loop of the stitch. Crochet the yarn and pull it over. Then parallel the stitches. That's it. The last time. Combine the last 2 stitches into one stitch. First, pick up a front loop of stitches. Pick up another front loop of stitches. Then the crochet hooks the yarn and pulls it over. That's it. Let's take a look. We're done with this round. What about the hook on round 22? We learned how to hook single crochets and decreases. Just follow the diagrams. Take the following rounds 23 to 30. So just follow the diagram to hook. So let's take a look. And we got to round 30. So what about when we hook round 28? You can fill it with fiber fill in it. What's next? We continue to hook the last round. On round 31, we need to hook 6 decreases. Let's hook. Mark it well. The second decrease. Then the third decrease. Fourth. Fifth decrease. Then the 6th decrease is done. Everyone, take a look and hook these 6 decreases. Leave a long tail. Cut directly. And then we use a suture needle. Seal the small stitch above. Take a look. There are 6 stitches left. Each stitch stirs up half a loop. And then what? Tighten. And you run it through the rest. Cut the long part directly. Let's take a look. Our head and body are hooked off. What's next? Let's go back to the diagrams. Hook his legs. Let's take a look. This leg is hooked. It is also a way to magic ring. From 6 single crochets. Then hook up. Just hook it until the 16th round. 1 single crochet in each stitch. And this is the mouth. It is also a way to magic ring. What's next? Everybody follow me. Crochet these 2 legs and mouth first. I put the diagram on the screen. Okay, after the legs and mouth, let's hook the cockscomb. It is divided into 3 parts in total. So here's part 1. The first part is a bit larger. We got to the 4th round. I'll give you the diagram later. Check the first part first. This is relatively large. And what happens next? Then let's hook the second and third parts. What about the second and third parts? Is exactly the same. We need to hook a big one, 2 small ones. That is to say, hooks in parts 2 and 3 is exactly the same. The second part is hooked and then disconnected. The third part of the continuous yarn. Everybody follow the diagram to hook. Okay, after hooking these 3 parts, the third part is not cut, right? Then continue to hook 3 single crochets. Mark the first stitch. We need to connect these 3 parts of this organ. Then the second stitch. Then the third stitch. First hook 3 single crochets, and then we connected the first part. What about after the first part is hooked? There are 8 stitches in total. Let's take 4 of the stitches first. First stitch, second stitch, third stitch, fourth stitch is good. Then let's connect the second part. As for the second part, just hook it off as a stitch. Hook these 6 single crochets. First stitch, second stitch, third stitch, fourth stitch, fifth stitch, sixth stitch is good. Then we're going to hook the first section down the middle, the remaining 4 stitches. So if we hook directly, there will be a bigger stitch in the middle. So let's not just jump over the hook. We are threading the 6th single crochet just now, the front part of the stitch. Thread the crochet in the front, hook the yarn and pull it over. Then come and hook the first part of this, the remaining first stitches. Let's take a look. Go through like this. Hook the thread and pull it over. 3 loops together. There is no bigger stitch in this place. Then hook up the back 3 stitches. Second stitch, third stitch, fourth stitch. We are connecting this very beginning. What about the third part? We need to put the first part of this at the end. Thread the crochet, hook the thread and pull it over. And then, in part 3, thread the stitches in this spot. Then hook up the last 2 stitches. This round connects it together. What about these 3 coxcombs? There are 20 single crochets in total. After that, we continue to hook the following rounds. In the next round, we need to reduce the stitches. Let's take a look. We first hooked a decrease. Mark it well. Then hook 8 single crochets. All right, after the hook is done, hook a decrease. 8 single crochets, just hook it again. That is to say, we lost a total of 2 stitches in this round. Eventually, it becomes 18 stitches. Okay, everybody take a look. Then take the knot off. We threaded the crochet directly into the first stitch. Hook the yarn and pull it over, and then go directly through the back loop. Use a slip stitch to connect it like this. Then hook the yarn and pull it over. There is a long thread tail. Cut it directly. Let's take a look. The organ part is complete. This is part of the mechanism on the head. What's next? Let's hook under this mouth again. That little organ part. It's very simple. Magic ring. and hook a chain stitch. Hook 6 single crochets. After the hook is done, hook the thread and pull it over. Cut directly. Pull this thread tail hard. And then we put the end of the yarn. Hide it. Hook the yarn like this and pull it over. Just hide it. Cut the long part directly. Let's take a look. That's it. This is under the mouth. That little cockscomb part. Well, in that case, we will put each one. The points are all hooked. Let's take a look. This is the mouth and 2 legs. It's all hooked. What about after the hook is done? And then we suture. So the mechanism on the top of this head first. Just sew it right above the top of the head. Fixed in this position. When did you take a look at the defense? This mechanism is double layer resistant. Just fix it stitch by stitch. Everyone follow me to sew. Okay, after we sewed this cockscomb, and we're going to sew this mouth together. The mouth. Just sew it 3/2 rows down from this cockscomb. Just sew it in this position. Distance from this organ. There are lines 3 to 4 of this. Such a width is enough. Everyone followed me to sew. Okay, let's sew this mouth up too. Then we put this mouth under. Sew on this little piece of cockscomb. Let's take a look. Just sew it next to this mouth. All right, let's take a look. We also sewed this little tube, and then we sewed the legs together. Take a look at this suture position, just sewn on this penultimate round. Just take a back position. The legs are symmetrical. Then you can put a small amount of fiber fill in this leg. It's okay. Everyone followed me to sew. Okay, after we sew this leg, let's outline it with a black yarn, the part of the eye. Where are the eyes? We sewed it right in the middle of this mouth. The corresponding location is enough. It is a width of 3 to 4 stitches from the mouth. Just through it like this. You can tie a knot. And then pull the line down across the line. Width is fine. Repeat. Repeat again. Then through it to the other side. Keep the symmetry. On the same line. Pull down the wire across a line. And I'll do it again. Thread the needle from somewhere else. That's it. So just take a look at your eyes and you can get a picture. Cut the long thread directly. Hide inside. Let's take a look. Our very cute chick is done. Okay, thank you for watching. See you in the next video.